Country Hits 99.9. Jason Gerber, you are joining us here in the studio, and you've heard at least a couple of the candidates that we've talked about and talked with this morning. And so we're going to ask you similar questions to that. But, by you being the last candidate that we're talking to, obviously, you want to kind of differentiate yourself between those other candidates and yourself. And hopefully over the next couple minutes, we're able to do that. So first of all, good morning. And thanks for coming in this morning.
Great. Good morning. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Jason, I guess I'm right out of the gate, and I know it's a question that I've asked the others. Why? Why do you want to go from, and obviously you're not changing it as an attorney, but add this to your pile of workload, right? Being a city council member comes with its own workload. It comes with the some criticism, some praise, and everything else that goes along with it. Why do this?
I think first and foremost, it's the opportunity to help the community. My wife and I moved here about 5 years ago. We love living here. We love being part of the community. We try as best we can to invest ourselves in the community and be involved. And I heard the seat was open. I talked to Mitch Foster about it. I know him and his wife socially, and it felt like something, certainly the workload was something that I would be able to handle on top of all of my other jobs, but that opportunity to help, that opportunity to serve and do something positive for the community really is the biggest thing that brought me to it.
All right. And if you're just joining us, we're talking with Jason Gerber. The Ludington police just showed up. Not for you, but not for me.
Excellent. Appreciate that.
I've got a meeting after the morning show with them to talk about some projects we're working on. But you're going to have to work with services and with the community and be able to address questions, and you might have heard me ask this question in the other rounds with the other candidates, is that sometimes people are not pleased with their city council members, with the direction that the city's going in. Not necessarily saying that Ludington is going in a wrong direction or right direction, but in your opinion, do you see that there can be improvements? And if so, what are those improvements?
I think we can always improve things. I think the benefit of a representative government like you have with a city council is the opportunity to bring in new perspectives and to look at things in a new way. And everything can get better. Smart, well-intentioned people can always find new, good solutions to problems. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I could stand here today and say that there's something in particular I think needs to be improved in our community. I think this is a great place to live. It is a beautiful place. It is a fun place. Mm-hmm. But can it get better? Of course it can get better.
So let's go a little bit further. We'll put you on the hot seat slightly here this morning. And because, again, part of this segment is not necessarily to convince the voters. Now, you might have to do that next November, right? If you are seated in this. But they want to make sure that whoever is in as a city councilor is looking for the best interest of them. So I guess my question, and I'll go a little bit deeper on this, is what concerns do you have that you as a city council member could change about Ludington or adjust or refine, however you want to take that word?
I would love to find new ways, find solutions for growing our community without losing the thing that we all love about it. I moved here from a big city. My wife and I lived in Vegas for almost 15 years before we moved to Ludington. And the reason why we came was because we wanted more community. We wanted that smaller town feel. And how do we address some of the issues that you've already discussed with people this morning that I think we all know exist in the town? We know that housing is an issue. We know that there is a homeless issue that I don't think any of us believe should exist in this town. How do we solve those issues? How do we grow our town's economy without losing the things that we think are really special about it? That's what I would love to have the opportunity to work on.
All right. What happens when you disagree with the city council? Obviously, in a lot of cases, there's the votes of 6-1 or 4-3 in some cases. Obviously, what about those disagreements? How are you able to become, and I know it's kind of a generic question, but how are you able to, or how will you get through some of those disagreements? What is your vision to accomplish things here in Ludington? Because we do know that there are some city council out there that all they do is just argue and fight, and nothing gets accomplished. Right? We hear about that. We see that in some of our communities. How do you prevent Ludington from not going that direction?
Well, I don't know that that's up to any one person, but what I would say is I've spent the entire professional career that I've had in fights. I've been a trial lawyer and a litigator my entire career, and at one point you are fighting, and at the exact same time you're trying to find solutions and compromises, because most cases get settled. So I'm not unfamiliar with having arguments with people, having debates with people, but at the same time trying to find compromises and trying to find solutions. And it is absolutely a part of, I believe, being on the council and being in any kind of government or management job, whether you're in a business or a charitable organization. Everybody's going to have different opinions, and you got to find ways to get to consensus and find good solutions.
If tonight the city council decides that they don't choose you, okay, let's just say that happens, do you think you'll next November be on the ballot for that ward position?
I have no idea, none whatsoever. I've actually never really had any political aspirations. It was only moving here and getting to be a part of the community, working with the council some when I represented the city, and this opportunity coming up that made me decide I wanted to throw my hat in and see if there was something I could do to help. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a long way away.
It's a year away. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Jason Gerber. Jason is vying as one of 5 candidates for the open seat at Ludington City Council tonight. Les Johnson, he vacated that seat to work with the overall Mason County board. And tonight, a decision may be made, but at least by the 19th, that will take place. The meeting tonight at City Council at 6 p.m. Jason, we like to open up for a few minutes to give you an opportunity to not necessarily convince the voters tonight or today, but potentially next November you will have to. So we might have this conversation or this question come up. But why Jason Gerber? Why Jason Gerber for this position now, which will affect their lives if you are seated there? You'll make decisions, and that will affect the city of Ludington. So convince them now if you don't mind.
I think I'd be really great in this job because I think I'm a thoughtful guy. I think I'm open-minded. I like to listen more than I like to talk, which might sound funny coming from a lawyer, but I think it's an important part of leading people. You have to understand their motivations. You have to understand their needs. You have to understand their concerns. And I think the ability to listen to both the people that would be my constituents and listen to other members of the council and their concerns and the concerns of their citizens, the ability to listen and try to find common ground, try to find unique solutions. I mean, I think for sure when you started this, you talked about me differentiating myself from the other people you've had on this morning. And I think oddly, the most differentiating thing about me is I've probably lived here the least amount of time of everybody who's been in. I mean, like I said, we've been here for 5 years. My wife was born here, graduated from MCC. I had never heard of Ludington, Michigan until I met her. Okay. I had never been to Ludington, Michigan, obviously, until I met her. And so I think I've got at least the opportunity to come in with a set of eyes that maybe is different from a group that has lived here their entire lives and has known the community their entire lives.
So let's take, if you don't mind, then I'll volley off to Janelle for a question here too. Is you brought up a very good point, so let's kind of elaborate just slightly on that. And if you're just joining us, we're talking with Jason Gerber for City Council, the 3rd Ward seat that may be filled tonight, again, before the 19th. People will say, and I guarantee it, and I'm sure you've heard it, is that we don't like a lot of change. We don't like to, if we've been doing it, and that's the way it's been done. We shouldn't have to change it. How do you answer that question as somebody new to the area and somebody that could be on city council? How do you address that?
Consistency and tradition are really good, and they're really, really important until they stop working. And when it's not working, when those old methods and old ideas can't solve new problems, you have to be able to look at them in a different way. And I'm not saying you do a complete 180 and change the way you've always done things. But if you change it 5 degrees or 10 degrees or 15 degrees because you've got a new issue and a new problem, or simply the old way just isn't working anymore, then you need to be willing to shoot that shot. You need to be willing to take that chance, and you need people who I think are willing to consider those ideas that are new on top of what we already know is a foundation of a really great community.
All right. Janelle, questions that you might have?
Nope, I was definitely agreeing with everything you were saying. I mean, let's keep Ludington beautiful. If we have to change something, then we change something. I mean, whatever's more efficient, and there's always room for improvement. So I'm definitely on board with that.
What does the community not know about you, Jason, that you would like to share with them today? And maybe you're just kind of a private individual and you don't want to, but what's different about you, or what's something about you that it's important for you to know, that they to know about you?
Well, I understand this is a serious position, and it's a serious thing. As far as I know, I'm the only person ever appointed to be the fund czar of a law firm in the entire country.
Nice.
I was appointed as fund czar of my firm in Las Vegas because I wanted to make our workplace a fun place to be while we were getting things done. So as serious as I take all of my work and as seriously as I would take this position, I think I'm a pretty good guy and a pretty good time.
All right. Good answers there. Last question for you, and then we'll wrap it up, is Third Ward is very different than the Second Ward, the Fourth Ward, and everywhere else. As you know, you're going to have to be a counselor not just for that ward, but for the whole city. How do you address? How will you personally focus on those other areas of the city of Ludington for those individuals that are listening today?
I think first and foremost, you rely on what your other council members are going to be telling you about what the concerns are from their citizens and the people in their wards. And then I think you've just got to be out and about. You got to be part of the community. You've got to be active in social places and civic places, and you just got to be around the town to know what's going on. And I think, like I said at the beginning, that a willingness to listen to what people have to say, and really hear what's going on, and try to then take that back to your work and to the council and make things happen that way. All
right. Good information this morning. Anything that we missed that you want the community to know about this morning before we wrap up?
I'm just really happy to be here, really happy to have the opportunity, hopefully tonight and beyond, to serve our community.
All right. Sounds good. Jason Gerber, we appreciate you coming in. And thanks for your patience, by the way.
Yeah,
we're running a little bit behind this morning, and we made it through. And we appreciate the listeners and viewers, too. We have put a link for additional information on Jason on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So you can click on that, learn a little bit more about your resume, because you had to submit your resume and your information there. So the community can find out a bit more about Jason. Just click on that link, and it'll take you over to the website for information at Mom FM. It is just after 10 o'clock, 10:16 this morning here on 102.7